Good evening, English 101 students. Today I wanted to make a little video about how to format your paper according to APA standards. If you don't already know how to format according to APA standards, don't worry, it's not uncommon. And also, honestly, in a lot of classes, you may use the MLA formatting as well. So depending on what your major is going to be. So really the best thing you can do is to go to Purdue Owl and pull up the formatting rules as you're going through your paper and just run down the list of things and make sure that they're all a part of your paper. The formatting should be the last step that you do. Once you've got everything edited and you like the way that it looks, go through and do formatting as your last thing. So once the formatting is done, you can have a little celebration. Yay, I'm finished with the paper. Just make that like the last thing that you stress over. So the first thing, so this paper is actually paper that I had written in MLA, and it was a paper that I turned in for a class. So I'm just going to go through and show you a little bit of how to put it into APA format. So first off, if you click at the top of your paper here, it'll show up your header. On your first page, you're going to type in the words running head, colon, and then your title in all capitals. Mine is not actually the full title because this should be no more than 50 characters. So I did a shortened version of my title here at the top. And if you have a really long title, you may have to do that also. That's going to be flush left right here on your paper. And then you're going to add the page number here to the right. If you don't know how to add page numbers, I have a shortcut at the top of mine. It says page number here, top of page, and then all the way flush right. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up your headers where you have a different first page because the first page is the only one that says running head and the rest just have the title on them. So we'll go here to page setup. There's a little arrow here at the bottom. And then when you come here, you can see right here, it says different first page. So you're going to make sure this is checked. And that'll give you the option to create a different header for the rest of the paper than for the first page. Okay, so we have that, I already have that checked, and you would hit OK. This is my first page, it's the title page. And on your title page, you're going to have your title, you're going to have your name, and then you're going to have the institution that you're working for that you did your research under, and that's Arizona State University for all of us. Another thing that you're going to need to do, this teacher that I had actually wanted this particular font for this paper. For you to be formatted according to APA standards, you'll need to put it in Times New Roman 12 point. So I'm going to select like the whole beast, and we're going to switch it over to Times New Roman 12 point. So there's that. We'll go up here to font, Times New Roman, font size, 12 point, done. Okay. So you want to make sure everything is done, same font size. And then that's my title page, and the title page, that's all that's on it, so nothing else. Next is going to be your abstract. So go all the way, start a second new page. If you look here, I can click in the header and I can change it to where it now only says my title and the page number on the right. So it no longer says running head. Okay, so and here's your abstract page. So you're going to write the word abstract. It'll be in the middle and centered. And then underneath of that, you'll have 150 to 250 words that summarize your paper. Don't worry about being suspenseful here. You want to write whatever is in your paper. The purpose of your paper, your thesis statement should be in there. The point of the abstract is so that if someone is looking through a bunch of research papers and they're trying to decide if they want to read yours, they can read your abstract and tell whether they want to get more involved in your project and see what it's about. So it should really tell exactly what it is about. There's an option here. You can put in keywords. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you could put keywords italicized, colon, and then write all of the keywords that pertain to your particular paper. Okay, and that's all that goes on the abstract page. And then we're going to start the actual text on the next page. So see, I need to start this, make sure it goes all the way down onto its own page. Okay. So on page 3 is where your paper is actually going to start. This would be your introduction, and then the rest of your paper, and a lovely conclusion. And hopefully everything is tied together and everything supports your thesis statement, and you've got a natural organization to your paper. When you're within your text, you just need to make sure that if you are paraphrasing, which means that you're saying what someone else's work says without directly copying it, or if you're directly copying it, which would be a quote, you put it into quotations. If you're doing either of those things, you need to cite it inside of the work. That's called an in-text citation. So if you look here at this first yellow highlighted area, I'm showing one example of how you can do an in-text citation. So in this one, I just write my quote out. I put my quotations. There's my quotations. Note there's no period right here because it's not actually the end of my sentence. In parentheses, I'm going to write the last name of the author, the year, and then the page number, and then a period at the end. The other way that you can do an in-text citation is you can, excuse me, you can put the author's name within your sentence. So Cruz says, and right after the author, you're going to put in parentheses the year. And then at the end of all of it, there's my quote, page 20, period at the end, and that's in parentheses. Okay, so anytime you quote directly, you need to cite. Anytime you paraphrase, you need to cite. If you don't do those two things, if you don't quote, cite, if you do not cite when you're doing either of those two things, then you're plagiarizing. So make sure you're not intentionally or unintentionally plagiarizing anyone else's work. Okay, so there's the rest of my paper. It goes on for a while. And then in an MLA formatted paper, you have a page called Works Cited. In an APA formatted paper, you have a page called References. Probably help if I could spell references correctly, huh? So here's my references page. So references goes here at the top. And then I'm going to put my references down below that. Your references need to be in alphabetical order. This is really simple because I only have one source that I cited, but you are going to have more than one source. So make sure when you're done with them that you are putting them in alphabetical order. So here could be like, Demings, James or something. And so you would make sure, C, D, and that would be my next entry. So just one of the other things that is kind of nice to think about, I don't know why this wants to be obnoxious. It doesn't want to do what I want it to do. Well, I don't want to show you a bunch of my desktop, but what you can do is if you sit and mess with your windows, you can leave Purdue Owl up here on the left side, and on the right side you can see your paper. So while you're going through your paper and checking your formatting, you could just go here, reference list, basic rules, and you could read all of the rules and check them onto your paper just like that. Just go back and forth and make sure everything is correct. So one thing I'll point out on here is that citations are different depending on where they're coming from. So like this one says, when referring to books, chapters, articles, or web pages, capitalize only the first letter of the first word of a title and subtitle, the first word after a colon or dash in the title, and proper nouns. Okay, but if you are citing from a journal, it says maintain the punctuation and capitalization that is used by the journal in its title. It says, for example, recall, not recall, if you look right here. So depending on whether you're quoting from a journal or you're quoting from a website, is going to determine how you actually capitalize and punctuate on your reference sheet. So just pay attention to that. That's a little bit different. So that's the list there. And I'm just in Purdue Owl. And if you go and you just type in APA style, it will give you this whole thing here. Here's all these APA style things. You can click on each one, in text citation, the basics, and it'll give you, here are the basics for citing in APA, and you can go through that. If you feel like you're totally comfortable with that, and all you want to do is look at, oh look, I just specifically want to remember how to put in an electronic source in my reference list, you can go here to electronic sources, click on that, and then read through the rules for that. So really just, even though Purdue Owl is a really, really big website, if you just take the time to go through just the topics you need and try and ignore the rest, don't be overwhelmed by the fact that there's a ton of stuff there. It's a really, really useful tool to have when you're writing anything really, but especially while you're trying to do something specific like formatting a paper in a very specific way. So if you have any further questions on formatting in APA style or anything else really as you're getting your final drafts ready, please email me or Professor Amy, and either one of us will get back to you and we can help you as best we can. If you want to just shoot me an email at any time, I'm usually on my computer during the week, so I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I just wish you the best with getting your final drafts together. Happy writing. Bye.